It feels to me that Rafinha's having a bad season. That's what it feels like when I watch Barcelona play. When I watch Barca play, when I watch Rafinha play, I feel Rafinha having a bad season. And then I look at his stats, 3 goals, 2 assists, 6 games, 5 contributions in 6 games. Pretty darn good stats. But there's something that feels off. And I don't know if it's Rafinha not playing on the left. I don't know if it's the Lamine Yamal not being there. I don't know if it's him with Rashford on the other side. Something feels different, right? Something feels off. Something feels like it's not clicking when I watch him play. But then, like I said, the stats speak for themselves, and he's having a great start to the season. So you can't knock it, right? You can't knock what he's doing. And this is a very important season for him because he's coming off of that incredible season. And we've seen a lot of players come off of an incredible season the next season just not have a good year. We saw it with Vinicius Jr. To have just one of the best seasons he's ever had in his career. And then the next season kind of a step backwards. We've seen that with that boy Vinny last season. So like I said, this is a big important season for Rafinha to see if he can continue to stay at that level he was at last season. But to speak of the game, it's another game this season where Barcelona has to come from behind. It's something they're getting a little bit comfortable doing. When you look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're a team that has suffered a lot of goals. And it's crazy because just the same way I told you Rafinha feels like he's not playing well, it's the same thing I say. It feels like Barca suffered more goals than they have this season, right? Doesn't it? It feels like their defense is a little bit worse than it's actually performed. What do I mean by that? If you actually go look at Barcelona's stats for the season, if you go look at the standings, in La Liga, they've only suffered 4 goals, right? But it feels like their defense has been poor this season. The truth is, Barcelona's only suffered 4 goals in La Liga in 6 games. Now, that's almost a goal a game, but they've scored 19. They've scored 19 goals in 6 games, and they've suffered 4. And when you start to look around La Liga, you start to really understand that the 2 best defenses in La Liga, all right, the 2 best defenses in La Liga, it's not even Atletico Madrid. They have 7, right? They're usually a real good defensive team. Real Madrid is the best defensive team in La Liga with only 3, and then Barcelona with 4. So as much as we talk about Real Madrid not being a good unit, they've only suffered 3 goals. And Barcelona's only suffered 4 goals. So again, our feelings, I think for a lot of us, because I see a lot of people complain about Barca's defense, our feelings are that Barca's defense is not that great. But the truth is, it's been pretty darn good, right? They've only suffered 4 goals. If we go to the EPL, I'm going to pull up a different league just so to kind of give understanding. When you go to the EPL, right, 5 games have been played in the Premier League. And in those 5 games, the best defense in the league seems to be, it looks like it's Spurs with 3 goals against, and there's another team, Newcastle, with 3 goals against. But Spurs in those 3 goals against, they've only scored 10 goals, right? So Barcelona has scored 19 goals and suffered 4. So Barcelona's defense hasn't they don't have extreme amount of, even though it feels like their defense hasn't been good, and it feels like sometimes they have to come from behind in these games, they're truly having a really good season. But stuff just feels really weird with them. And I can't tell you what is. I want to go back to last season where Barcelona, the entire year they suffered 39 goals. Real Madrid actually had a better defense than Barcelona when the season ended. They had 38 against, but Barcelona scored 102 goals in 38 matches. And if you look at this year, 6 matches, 19 goals already. Their offense is ridiculous. And we have to remember that most of this is being done without Lamine Yamal, who is one of their most impactful players and one of the most impactful players in all of European football right now at the moment. I mean, the guy came second for the Ballon d'Or. Again, I still think Rafinha should have been higher, but the man came second for the Ballon d'Or. So it's just one of those things to really kind of pay attention to, because I think a lot of us have started to freak out a little bit about their defense. And even today, when I saw them go down 1-0, 33 minutes in, I'm like, man, this defense really got to get it together, bro. Because they do look like a defense that can get hit on the counter in any second. But they look like that last year. Last year, if you remember, there was that game, that El Clasico game, where Mbappe like was offside like 30 times. And if he was just able to time it perfectly, Barca's defense was cooked. So this is something that's kind of just been a norm for Barcelona even last year. It's kind of just the way Flick plays. It's kind of the way the team runs, right? It's the kind of the way the team is organized. So at the end of the day, like I said, man, for me, things feel weird with Barcelona, but they're not. They're perfectly fine. The only thing that sucked was that tie against Rajo, but you take that out, and they're having a phenomenal season without arguably their best player on the field, which I don't know when Lamine Yamal is set to return. Does anybody know when Lamine Yamal is set to, if I'm being honest with you guys, man, I don't even know what Yamal is fighting. Like, when is he set to come back? Lamine Yamal, very close. Barca takes stance with Lamine Yamal injured on the return. So it looks like he's very, very, very close to returning. And this was 1 day ago. This one's 8 hours ago from Sports Illustrated. And it says that he is very close to returning. Barcelona, what's been wrong with him? The return after the international, groin injury. I remember they said it was in his groin area. I remember that. He's missed the last 3 games. It looks like he's close to return. So this is gonna be big when he's back, and it's gonna be interesting to see what Flick does with Marcus Rashford when he does return. Is this when Rafinha goes to the cam position and everybody, Barca fans said they want Lamine Yamal on the right and Rashford on the left, and then Rafinha to go more central? I'm not 100% sure what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how he kind of brings Lamine Yamal back into the equation. But Barcelona win 3-1, massive La Liga game. If I'm being honest with you, a boring La Liga game. I'm not, please don't hate me for this, but it was pretty boring. It was one team just sitting completely back the entire time. Barcelona 80% possession, Barcelona 30 shots, like 50. It felt like 70 shots, felt like 75 shots on target. It was just not a very, very entertaining game to watch, but it's a regular La Liga game, bro, where one team is really pushing. The other team's defending really hard, trying to get the job done, and Barcelona were able to see it off. So again, man, it wasn't this absolute unbelievable performance. It wasn't this, oh my goodness, this is the best Barcelona in the world. They got the job done. The big test for Barcelona and their defense is coming. I think everyone is really, really looking forward to this game. Barcelona has a game this Sunday, and then after this Sunday, where they play Real Sociedad, which is actually a really good game. Real Sociedad is usually a team that does really well in La Liga, but not this year. They're in 16th place, so we'll see how that one kind of plays out. But they get Real Sociedad at home, I believe it is, and then we see them face PSG, which this is the game that I think a lot of us have marked on our calendars, because everyone wants to see how this one plays out. Everyone wants to see how this game goes, right? I'm excited for it. I think we're all excited for it. Can Barca's defense match the possession of PSG? Will PSG be able to just attack them and dominate them? I'm excited. Will PSG be able to stop Barcelona's attack? Will Lamine Yamal be back for this game? That's a very, very important one as well. But Champions League is what I'm most excited for, y'all, right now. I just want to get through these league games. Champions League this week is going to be crazy, man. We got Barca versus PSG. There's some big ones. My Benfica's playing Chelsea. I know a lot of y'all don't really care about that game, but that's a big game for me. It's some big ones, man. I'm not sure who Real Madrid plays this upcoming one. Real Madrid's game's an easy game. Liverpool, Galatasaray. So nothing really too crazy. Frankfurt, Atletico Madrid is a pretty good game, if I'm being honest with you. Monaco versus City's a cool game to watch. But yeah, man, that's a big one. Barcelona versus PSG on Wednesday, bro. That is a game that I'm very, very, very excited to watch. And then obviously Tuesday, Benfica versus Chelsea. Hey, love you guys, man. That's kind of my reaction to Barcelona's game. Not really much to talk about, if I'm being honest, but I also wanted to make this video because Barca fans be getting on me when they be like, yo, Scales, what's up? We won and you didn't want to make the video? No, I had time to watch your game today, and that's why I made the video. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.